Okay, so let's open Ardour. Now we go to new sessions. Doesn't matter what name you give it to it, just open a session. So this is Jack. This is the audio MIDI setup. So over here on the driver, if you have a normal sound card, choose MME. And if you have an interface, an audio interface, choose ASIO. So over here you can change the sample rate of your session. I'm going to talk about later what that is. And then just go to start. So now we've got a new session. To change the bitrate, the bit depth I mean, go to Sessions, Properties, and then to Media. And here you can select what bit depth you want. So I'm going to choose 24. And now I'm going to do a template, save a template. To do so, go to Session, Save Template. And now you can name your template. So I'm going to name this template 48 for 48 kilohertz sample rate and 24 for 24 bit depth, and save. So now we created a template with these settings. So let's close the session and discard because we don't want to save that. Then go to new sessions, and now here you've got the new template with 48 kilohertz and 24 bit. So let's just create a new session, an empty template, and open, start. Now I'm going to save a new template with another bit depth. So I'm going to say one with 32. Save template. I'm going to call it 4832 and save. Now I'm going to change the bit depth once again to 16. And I'm going to call this template 4816 and save. So now we have 3 templates: 4816, 4824, and 4832. So you can do this, and when you start the session with Jack or the audio MIDI setup, you can change to 44.1 for example, or 96, and so you've got the sample rate, and then change the bit depth, and then you can save the different templates you might need. So what is sample rate and bit depth? So the sample rate is how many times the computer takes a picture of the audio whilst it's recording. And the bit depth is what resolution is going to do that. So this translated in video, the sample rate is frames per second. So how many frames, which are pictures, you see per second. So the more frames you see per second, the smoother the video is. The less frames, the more it looks like a stop motion movie. And the bit depth is the resolution. So how big are the squares, the pixels from your picture. So the lower the bit depth, the bigger the pictures are, and the higher it is, the smaller it is, and the more defined is the picture that it's taken. So in the description I put a link to a very simple text explaining this a bit more in detail, and there's also a cool video I found, a stop motion video that can show you what I mean with a stop motion, what is a video with less frames per second, and also showing what are pixels. So like you can do pictures with big squares, you know, like old computer games and stuff like that. The squares were pretty big, but you could still picture what it's supposed to be. So that's a good comparison, I think, between a high quality video or a low quality video, and that would be the same with a high quality audio or low quality audio. So to have an idea, the CD sample rate for the CDs, the audio sample rate and bit depth are 44.1 kilohertz is the sample rate, and 16 bit is the bit depth. So it's always a good idea to excuse me, to record in a higher sample rate and a higher bit depth, and then reduce it later for whatever format you need. So usually you will not export more than 44.1 or 16 bit, but there is, when you send it for mastering, so that the mastering engineer, for example, or the mixing engineer, so when you're recording, the mixing engineer needs to have a higher resolution to work a bit better with the audio. So if it's a very small resolution and sample rate, yeah, you won't be able to increase that. So it doesn't matter if you record at 44.1 and then convert it to 48, it will not get better. So what's important is what is the sample rate and the bit depth that you are recording your audio with. Alright, so I hope this video helps, and yeah, see you soon.